Have you ever felt as if life was a powerful river, pulling you through moments of beauty and turbulence, joy and sorrow, all at once? Sometimes we're carried forward, other times held back, feeling caught between the longing for peace and the pull of constant change. Imagine for a moment that within this river, there exists a place of calm, a sanctuary you can turn to at any time. This sanctuary is built on profound practices like mindfulness, compassion, non-judgment, and resilience. These are not just teachings, they are doors to an inner freedom, each step guiding us toward a clear. Buddha once taught, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. With this wisdom, we're invited to look within, to recognize that true freedom and joy are closer than we realize. Each of us has a quiet, unshakable strength waiting to be discovered. Through these practices, we learn not only to endure life's storms, but to stand in their midst, grounded and at peace. Like a tree unbowed by the wind, we hope to embark on this journey together, sharing precious insights and experiences. If you find our content helpful and inspiring, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Buddhism and Life. This is not just about learning alone. It's about joining a community that shares the desire to understand life on a deeper level and find value in the simple, everyday moments. Each like and subscription helps us spread this message of love and peace to more people. Let this journey be one of transformation, a journey where each principle becomes a quiet strength that carries us forward, deepens our understanding, and opens our hearts to the vast beauty of life. 1. Mindfulness in life, a journey to freedom and peace. Imagine you're standing in the middle of a storm. Everything around you is swirling, chaotic, and loud. Inside, you're tense, burdened by the past, and anxious about an unclear future. But right there, in that very moment, you realize something extraordinary. If you simply focus on the present moment, everything starts to settle. The worries of what is past, the fears of what's to come, they all fall away. What's left is a deep peace, like standing in the calm eye of the storm, where absolute stillness resides. This is the power of the present, a moment that never grows old, where true freedom can be found. Buddha once said, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. In that present, you can free yourself from the pressures and burdens of time's relentless flow. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. This teaching of Buddha's is a gentle reminder to nurture complete attention to the present. When we truly hear these words, we begin to see that the present is the only space where our minds can be truly free, untied from what is already past and not tangled up in scenarios yet to unfold. Think about it. Perhaps you've felt anxiety or regret before, states that drain your energy, leave you feeling off balance, or easily distracted. It's in these moments that Buddha's teaching on focusing on the present becomes a key to inner peace. We cannot change the past, nor can we control the future, but we can live fully in each breath and step of the present moment. The benefits of living in the present are not only liberation from pressure and worry, but also a deep connection to the natural essence of life. In this moment, everything becomes clear, peaceful, and still. Think of it this way: when you focus on the present, you begin to notice everything happening around you without distraction from the flow of thoughts. This sharpens the mind, making it brighter, and compassion within you begins to grow naturally. Practicing mindfulness can begin very simply. You don't need complex rituals, just a few quiet moments to sit down, bringing your attention to your breath. When you inhale, simply know that you are inhaling. When you exhale, be aware that you are exhaling. That's it. Something so simple yet profoundly powerful, helping the mind find its anchor, bringing awareness that isn't pulled by the past or sunk into the future. In daily life, you can also practice mindfulness in very ordinary activities. For example, when eating, pay attention to the taste, texture, and richness of your food. Instead of eating mindlessly, savor each bite, noticing how it nourishes your body. This connects you more deeply to the present, making each moment meaningful and filled with gratitude. Finally, focusing on the present doesn't mean forgetting about responsibilities or future plans. Instead, it helps us approach everything consciously and calmly, free from unnecessary stress. As Buddha once taught, when you focus on the present, you gain the strength to handle life's challenges without getting lost in them, maintaining a steady, serene mind. So, whenever you feel swept away by thoughts of the past or future, remind yourself that the present is where true peace lies. Let your mind root itself here, and you'll see that each moment is a lesson, an opportunity to understand yourself and live a more harmonious life. Focusing on the present isn't just a method to reduce stress or seek temporary peace. It's a journey of exploring and realizing the impermanent nature of life. In Buddhism, everything is in constant flux, even ourselves, our emotions, thoughts, and circumstances. When we recognize that all things are part of an endless, ever-changing flow, we also understand that the past and future are but illusions created by our minds. The past, whether beautiful or painful, has gone and cannot return. Memories, no matter how cherished, are remnants of time, and clinging to them only leads to nostalgia or longing. Meanwhile, the future is a mysterious veil that no one can fully see through. Expectations and worries about the future create unease because they rely on things beyond our control. By focusing our minds on the present, we free ourselves from the binding chains of these thoughts, allowing us to live more freely, unburdened by these illusions. When we live fully in each moment, we connect with the true nature of everything around us. The present holds neither past nor future. It is a seamless flow of successive moments, incredibly subtle yet immensely powerful. The present is the embodiment of life itself, unembellished, non-judgmental, and uncomplicated. In every breath, in every step, we can clearly feel this life force, realizing that everything is a manifestation of nature, part of the universe's eternal flow. The profound meaning of focusing on the present also lies in freeing ourselves from the self, that ego we constantly carry, always thinking we are at the center of every experience. When we immerse ourselves in the present, we no longer think, "I must do this," or "I will succeed or fail," but rather experience a pure existence, unbounded by the personal self. We become like a flowing stream, constantly changing, not striving to control or hold on to anything. This brings peace and harmony with everything around us, revealing that we are not separate, but part of a greater whole. Mindfulness not only teaches us to live in the present, but also allows us to touch a deeper level of life's meaning. That everything, every phenomenon, and every person is intricately interconnected. A flower cannot bloom on its own. It needs soil, water, sunlight, and time. Similarly, we cannot exist without the nurturing of nature and the love of those around us. When we focus on the present, we also start to feel love and gratitude for all the elements that have contributed to our existence. And finally, focusing on the present is the key that unlocks boundless wisdom and compassion. When we are no longer swept away by the past or future, the mind becomes clear, no longer clouded by layers of negative thoughts and emotions. At this moment, we can see everything as it truly is, without distortion from prejudice or fear. From this clarity, compassion arises naturally, not as an effort, but as a sincere empathy for all who also endure suffering and seek peace. Thus, when we focus on the present, we not only find personal peace, but also touch a greater truth, that we are all here, experiencing this life together. From this awareness, every action, every word we speak, can become a gift of love and wisdom to the world, in the simplest and most natural way. 2. The power of non-reaction, the art of living calmly amidst life's turmoil. In the hustle and bustle of life, we often face pressures, conflicts, and intense emotions. At times, a single word, a look, or an action from others can easily unsettle us, prompting an immediate reaction without reflection. However, by choosing not to react, we unlock a new doorway within our mind, a path leading to inner freedom and peace. In Buddhism, non-reaction does not mean avoidance. Rather, it is a mindful mastery over the mind, keeping our heart calm and clear even when storms rage around us. This is an inner journey to master ourselves, freeing us from being mere puppets of fleeting emotions. In the teachings of the Buddha, silence is always regarded as the foundation for attaining wisdom and enlightenment. Winning 1,000 battles is not as great as winning over oneself. That is the greatest victory. When we choose not to react, we actually overcome ourselves, overcoming anger, fear, and negative emotions. We do not allow these things to control our actions, but keep our mind calm, like a serene lake even in the face of fierce storms. Non-reaction does not mean denying or rejecting our emotions. It is about acknowledging and observing without allowing ourselves to be swept away. Like watching clouds in the sky, each emotion drifts by, light and natural. If we can keep our mind like the sun shining behind the clouds, we see everything more clearly and can then make wise and appropriate choices. In Buddhism, the Buddha emphasized, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is an eternal truth. This statement reveals a profound truth about non-reaction. When faced with anger or injustice, instead of reacting with anger or hatred, we choose to hold on to compassion and mindfulness. Compassion not only soothes anger, but also gives us the strength to rise above hatred. Imagine someone facing conflict at work or a disagreement in the family. Instead of reacting immediately, they choose to remain silent, step back, and take a deep breath. This not only gives them time to think, but also allows the mind to return to a calm state. From there, they realize there are many ways to handle the situation without resorting to impulsive or emotionally harmful responses. Transforming the mind through non-reaction is not easy, but with consistent practice, it becomes a valuable skill that enables us to face every challenge in life with wisdom and compassion. To achieve the power of non-reaction, we need patience and regular practice. Here are 2 fundamental methods anyone can start with. Mindfulness. The Buddha once taught, when a person observes themselves, they will discover the true nature of all things. Mindfulness is observing the mind with awareness, recognizing each emotion and thought without letting oneself be influenced or drawn in. By practicing mindfulness, we gradually develop the ability to observe negative emotions without being controlled by them, avoiding the grip of sudden anger or sorrow. Meditation. Meditation is a powerful tool that brings the mind to a calm state. In meditation, we can recognize that everything is impermanent, and all emotions and thoughts are like boats drifting on the river of the mind. As the Buddha said, to those who deeply contemplate, this world is no different from an illusion. In meditation, we become keenly aware of emerging emotions. Instead of reacting, we let them pass like a gentle breeze. Imagine sitting by a river, watching the water flow. Each emotion, each thought is like a small boat. You don't need to jump onto each boat or follow it wherever it goes. You just need to observe, allowing them to drift away without reacting. This is how meditation teaches us not to be carried away by the current of temporary feelings. Non-reaction is a state of inner peace, a latent power that helps us break free from impulsive reactions and negative emotions. As the Buddha taught, train your mind to be like a quiet river, where no turbulence can disturb it. When we reach a state of non-reaction, we are no longer swept away by the flow of anger or fear, but can observe everything from a calm, clear perspective. Non-reaction helps us cultivate compassion and wisdom because it allows us to see things objectively, unaffected by negative emotions. When we choose not to react, we create opportunities for growth, turning challenges into precious lessons that deepen our understanding of ourselves and life. The power of non-reaction is not weakness, but a demonstration of courage and awareness. It gives us the ability to perceive everything through the lens of compassion and clarity, enabling us to overcome all of life's challenges. When we practice non-reaction, we not only bring peace to ourselves, but also spread positive energy to those around us. Remember, non-reaction is not giving up or enduring in silence. It is a conscious choice, a decision to keep the mind from being swept into temporary emotional storms. It's a long journey, but every step we take is a step closer to freedom and true peace. By keeping our heart calm, we not only master our own lives, but also become a source of inspiration for others, helping them realize that there is an alternative path beyond immediate reaction, a path of compassion, tolerance, and boundless wisdom. 3. Emotional mastery, the art of self-control amidst life's turmoil. Life is a vibrant journey, where joy and sorrow, happiness and suffering intertwine constantly. Each day, we face invisible challenges from within, emotions ranging from excitement and joy to anger and disappointment. These emotions, while coloring our lives, can also act as waves that, if not managed, pull us into a whirlwind of chaos and suffering. In Buddhist teachings, emotional mastery is not about denying or suppressing our emotions, but rather an art of understanding and transforming them. It's a journey of observing, sensing, and mastering emotions with subtlety so that we don't get carried away by fleeting waves of feeling. In doing so, we can maintain calmness and clarity in the face of life's many challenges and uncertainties. In Buddhism, composure is considered the foundation for attaining wisdom and enlightenment. The Buddha once taught, "The greatest victory is to conquer oneself." Learning to master our emotions means learning to conquer ourselves, rising above anger, fear, and other negative feelings. When faced with tense situations, pause for a moment and ask, is it really necessary to react immediately? Often, a simple moment of calm and mindfulness can reveal that it's unnecessary to let emotions take over, allowing us to handle matters with more lightness and wisdom. Composure isn't avoidance. It's a way to master our emotions, helping us stay unaffected by external circumstances. For example, in daily life, we may encounter judgments or unfavorable attitudes from others. Instead of reacting with anger, we can choose silence, keeping our mind as calm as a still lake. When we achieve this, we can feel the inner peace and unwavering strength that comes with self-mastery. One of the Buddha's key teachings is, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. This implies that emotions are not merely responses to the outer world, but reflections of our inner world. When we practice mindfulness, observing our emotions with awareness, without judgment or attachment, our emotions become opportunities for greater self-understanding. For example, when we feel disappointment, we might ask, where does this feeling come from? Why do I feel this way? By asking these questions, we gradually uncover the roots of our emotions, often arising from unmet expectations or underlying fears. Acknowledgement allows us to transform disappointment into acceptance, enabling us to face and overcome it gently, without impulsive reactions. In practicing mindfulness, we learn to observe without hasty reactions. We begin to view emotions as passing clouds, coming and going naturally. This awareness helps us break free from anxiety, creating an inner space to calmly observe without being controlled by emotions. Emotional mastery is a long journey requiring patience. Here are some simple yet effective methods for developing self-control over emotions. Observing emotions. The Buddha once said, "He who knows how to observe himself is the greatest victor." Observing is a way to recognize emotions without letting them control our actions. When a negative emotion arises, instead of reacting immediately, pause and acknowledge. This is just a temporary emotion. Observing without reacting helps us gradually master our emotions, preventing them from driving us to unwise actions. When you feel anger, instead of expressing it outwardly, try pausing, looking directly at the emotion, and asking yourself, what am I feeling? Why? Over time, you'll realize that many emotions don't require immediate expression. This practice cultivates patience and a deeper understanding of your emotional nature. Meditation. Meditation is a powerful method for quieting the mind. In meditation, we realize that everything is impermanent. Every emotion and thought is like leaves floating on the river. The Buddha said, "This world is like an illusion, fleeting as a dream." By understanding that emotions are also fleeting, we learn to let go without attachment. Imagine sitting by a river, where each emotion is like a leaf drifting by. You don't need to jump into the water or follow every leaf. You simply observe, allowing them to drift away naturally. This is how meditation helps us avoid being swept away by emotions, instead enabling us to maintain calm and clarity. Emotional resilience grants us inner stability, making us less susceptible to external influences. The Buddha once taught, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, the wise are not affected by praise or blame. Emotional control allows us to maintain peace, regardless of life's ups and downs. Resilience helps us face life's challenges without being swayed by temporary emotions. When we encounter failure, we neither dwell in sadness nor self-blame, but instead view it as a valuable lesson. When we achieve success, we remain humble, holding to an attitude of gratitude. This is the power of emotional mastery, making us stronger and more at peace amidst life's many changes. Emotional resilience also allows us to build healthy relationships. By not letting emotions dictate our actions, we can listen and understand others more deeply, fostering empathy and respect. Furthermore, the inner stability we cultivate inspires those around us, who can then see the peace and freedom we embody. Emotional mastery is not a simple process. It's a journey of self-exploration and self-mastery. It is the art of identifying, understanding, and ultimately transforming emotions. In this way, we don't just live with calm and freedom. We open a new path for our mind, a path leading to liberation and wisdom. Remember, emotional mastery is not about forcing yourself to endure or suppress emotions, but a conscious choice to understand and live harmoniously with yourself. By mastering our emotions, we not only find peace within ourselves, but also inspire those around us, helping them realize that amidst life's storms, there is a path toward tranquility and wisdom, a path anyone can take with patience and mindfulness. 4. Mindfulness and meditation, exploring the depths of the mind. In the rapid currents of life, we often feel like small boats adrift, sometimes swept away by the currents of work and personal responsibilities. On the journey to find peace and balance, mindfulness and meditation are like two anchors, grounding us in stability amidst the vast ocean of life. They are the art of returning our minds to the present moment, a journey into the depths of ourselves, where we not only listen but truly understand the true essence of our soul. Mindfulness and meditation are not merely skills, but a way of exploring our inner world, peeling back layers to touch the spiritual depths where compassion and calm await. Mindfulness, or awareness, can be likened to venturing into the ancient forest of our mind, where uncharted paths await exploration. The Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." This teaching evokes the image of someone stopping in the middle of a dense forest, free from the familiar trails, pausing to listen to every bird's song, every rustling leaf, fully present. In daily life, mindfulness is the art of seeing clearly each small detail we usually overlook. Imagine a painting. We are like artists with a palette, each brushstroke a fleeting moment. As we hold the brush, we make each stroke with awareness, sensing every hue and shade. Every action, even sipping a cup of tea, is like adding a stroke to the canvas of life, delicate yet filled with presence. Meditation is a journey down to the ocean depths of the inner self, where the turbulent waves of thoughts and emotions settle, leaving only calm. In this state, we no longer feel like a drifting boat, but become a diver, exploring what lies hidden beneath the surface. The Buddha taught, the wise see this world like a dream, where everything is fleeting. Imagine you are a diver slowly descending into the ocean's depths. Each layer of water represents a level of thought, a layer of emotion. You dive deeper, sensing that all those layers, no matter how intense, eventually settle and fade. The ocean floor, the deepest point, is absolute tranquility, where all noise and disturbance dissolve. Meditation helps us understand that emotions and thoughts are like waves that come and go, nothing lasting forever. Meditation is not an escape from life, but a way to uncover hidden truths, to see everything from a serene perspective, where joys and sorrows are but passing waves. Mindfulness and meditation are not just mental exercises, but a lifestyle, shaping a heart open to love and compassion. Consider each daily activity as an opportunity to bring the mind back to the present, allowing us to see the subtle beauty hidden in simple things. Mindfulness at work. Imagine your work as a constant stream, where every action, every decision, is like a drop falling into a lake. If your mind is chaotic, the lake will bubble up, blurring its transparency. But if you work with mindfulness, each drop falls gently, creating a still, reflective surface that mirrors everything around with clarity. Meditation in everyday life. Meditation need not be confined to a quiet room. It can be in each step you take, like autumn leaves drifting softly to the ground, unhurried, unrushed. Every step, every breath becomes a rhythm of meditation, a moment to reconnect with yourself. Imagine walking as if strolling through a tranquil garden, each step a footprint of peace. Mindfulness and meditation are like guiding lights, helping us navigate emotional storms with steadfastness. With each moment of awareness, we realize that suffering and worry are like fleeting clouds, which will eventually dissolve when we are calm enough. The Buddha taught, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. Imagine the mind as a garden. Each negative thought, each burst of anger, is like a weed, slowly overpowering the delicate flowers of peace. Mindfulness is the devoted gardener, nurturing each young plant, each blossoming flower, keeping the inner garden vibrant and serene. Through consistent practice, mindfulness and meditation become integral to our lives, nurturing compassion and empathy. As we understand ourselves more deeply, we naturally understand others, viewing them not through the lens of judgment, but with a gaze of love and understanding. Mindfulness and meditation are two beacons illuminating the path to inner peace. They are practices that not only calm the mind, but also open a world of freedom and enlightenment, like standing before the vast sea. It's only when we are calm enough that we can truly sense the profound beauty and peace of life. Remember, mindfulness and meditation are not ways to escape life, but journeys that help us live more deeply and meaningfully. Each moment of awareness and each meditative breath remind us that we can always find peace, even in the midst of life's flow, as long as we know how to listen to ourselves and embrace each moment. 5. Detachment. The journey of letting go to find inner peace. In the whirlwind of life, we unknowingly weave ourselves into countless bonds. It could be with a person, a memory, a longing. These connections initially serve as sources of motivation, even happiness. But over time, when they grow heavy, we find ourselves losing freedom, feeling like a kite that cannot soar high due to the invisible cords tethering us down. Detachment is not about abandoning everything, nor turning our backs on life. Rather, it is a way to free the mind from unnecessary burdens, finding calm and freedom. Detachment allows us to love and experience life fully, with an unburdened heart, to enter life like a pure stream, unsullied by the ripples of desire and fear. As the Buddha once said, the root of suffering is attachment. When we learn to detach, we rediscover a profound sense of peace. 1. Detachment clarifies emotions and the soul. Imagine a crystal-clear lake where gentle ripples appear only when a breeze passes by. Standing by the lake, we do not get swept away, but instead quietly observe each subtle movement. The Buddha taught, nothing is truly ours. Everything is impermanent. This is not a denial of the value of what we possess, but a reminder that everything in life is fleeting. Think of autumn leaves, drifting slowly from their branches and gliding away with the wind. The leaves do not resist the natural cycle or cling to their days of green. In this gentle letting go, there is a beauty, a freedom unencumbered. We, too, find our souls purified and untroubled by anger, jealousy, or fear when we learn to let go and detach. The Buddha reminded us, when the mind is free from attachment, that is when we find true peace. 2. Detachment is not indifference, but deep compassion. Many people think that detachment means becoming cold and distant, but in truth, it is a state of sincere love and deep understanding. Detachment is like standing before a field of vibrant flowers, not picking, not possessing, but simply beholding and appreciating their beauty. To love with detachment is to allow everything to be as it naturally is, without imposing or controlling. The Buddha once taught, true love has no attachment, for attachment clouds the clarity of compassion. Imagine standing in a forest during autumn, golden leaves falling around you, with warm sunlight filtering through. You savor every moment, every color, without trying to hold on to anything. You let everything coexist, naturally and gently, feeling the beauty without the need to possess or alter it. In relationships, detachment works the same way. When we love with detachment, we don't burden others with our expectations or demand that they fulfill every desire. Instead, we give them the freedom to be themselves, loving with genuine compassion. 3. Detachment from negative thoughts to find peace. Negative thoughts often resemble waves crashing upon the shore, incessant and relentless, drowning us in worries and fears. Detachment here is the ability to step back from these thoughts, observing them like clouds drifting by, rather than getting pulled into them. The Buddha taught, let all thoughts pass as clouds drift across the sky. When you are not attached, you are truly free. Imagine standing on a high mountain peak, looking down at a rushing river below. Twigs, branches, and leaves are swept along in the current, but you don't have to leap in to retrieve them. You simply stand still, watching the river, allowing each thought and feeling to flow by without needing to hold on to any of it. Achieving this state brings a deep sense of tranquility, a wonderful feeling of freedom. Detachment from negative thoughts does not mean avoiding problems. On the contrary, it allows us to see everything with a broader perspective, as if viewing life's painting from a distance. This makes it easier to recognize the nature of each issue and find solutions without being driven by negative emotions. 4. Detachment to attain true freedom and peace. When we detach from what is unnecessary, our souls become like birds spreading wings in the vast sky, unbound by any burden. The Buddha once taught that true freedom comes from within. When we are not attached, we become free with ourselves, and that is when we can live fully, with a heart as light as a flower carried by the wind. Imagine you are a kite, loosening each knot, and eventually soaring high in the sky, basking in the wind and sunlight. That feeling is one of release, of a truly free soul, no longer tethered by trivial concerns. The Buddha reminded us, letting go is the path to freedom. Let the mind be unburdened, so that life may be as light as a cloud. When we reach detachment, we no longer feel forced into molds or carry unnecessary suffering. We become free to love without expecting anything in return, to give without needing to receive. This is the state of peace, of true freedom that anyone can achieve when they know how to let go. Detachment is the art of letting go of what does not belong to us, a way to keep our minds from being pulled into the endless whirlwinds of life. It is not about abandonment or forgetfulness, but a liberation that allows us to see life in its purest, most beautiful form. When we achieve detachment, everything seems to become lighter and more serene. The Buddha once said, "Peace lies not in possessing, but in letting go." Remember, detachment is not turning away from life. It is the way to reach true inner peace. It is realizing that what we hold on to does not truly belong to us, and no attachment can hold our souls forever. This detachment not only brings peace, but is also the key that opens the door to freedom, where we can love without fear of loss, live without worry, and in that freedom, we find ourselves. 6 techniques of self-control, the path to inner strength and serenity. In the journey of life, we often find ourselves at the mercy of our emotions, be it moments of joy, waves of anger, or deep pangs of sadness. These emotions, while natural and essential to our humanity, can become overwhelming if we allow them to govern our actions and reactions. Self-control is not about suppressing or denying these emotions, but rather understanding and harmonizing them. It is a way to touch the strength within ourselves, a practice of calm that brings clarity even amidst life storms. Self-control is an art of finding balance, of being able to step back and view situations with compassion and insight, instead of reacting impulsively. The Buddha said, "Conquering oneself is a greater victory than conquering thousands in battle." True self-control is this kind of victory, a journey within that leads to peace, wisdom, and resilience, the power of a pause, breathing as an anchor. In moments of intense emotion, be it anger or sadness, one of the most powerful acts of self-control is simply to pause and breathe. Breathing serves as a bridge between the mind and body, bringing calm to both in a single, gentle rhythm. When we focus on our breath, we anchor ourselves in the present, grounding our mind so that it is not swept away by feelings or reactions. Imagine standing by the ocean, feeling the cool breeze on your face and watching waves come and go. With each breath, it is as if you are harmonizing with the rhythm of those waves, letting the breath soothe and center you, just as the shore absorbs each wave with calmness. Just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, the wise remain unmoved by praise or blame. The Buddha taught, in the same way, focusing on the breath allows us to stand firm and steady amidst emotional waves, grounded and resilient. This teaching reminds us that, just as a rock remains solid regardless of the storm's intensity, our inner stability need not waver with the passing emotions or opinions of others. It is a call to cultivate an unshakable inner calm, a calm that can only be nurtured through the intentional act of pausing and breathing. Mindful observation, watching emotions as passing clouds. The next technique in mastering self-control is mindful observation, allowing ourselves to step back and observe our emotions without becoming entangled in them. When we feel anger, for example, instead of lashing out, we observe it as we would watch a cloud drift across the sky, knowing it will pass, without giving it the power to dictate our actions. Imagine you were sitting on a quiet hill, watching the sky. Each emotion is like a cloud, passing slowly overhead. Some clouds are dark, heavy with rain. Others are light and wispy. But you simply sit and watch, without needing to grasp or hold on to any of them. By observing emotions with this gentle detachment, we develop the skill of non-reactivity, seeing emotions as temporary and learning not to let them control us. The Buddha taught, in awareness lies freedom. Through awareness, we create a space between our emotions and our reactions, allowing us to respond consciously rather than impulsively. This teaching reveals that freedom lies not in suppressing our feelings, but in observing them from a place of calm presence, knowing that we can choose our response. Practicing gratitude, shifting from reaction to appreciation. Gratitude has the power to transform our mindset, creating a shift from reaction to appreciation. In moments of frustration or irritation, simply pausing to acknowledge something positive can instantly change the tone of the situation. Gratitude shifts our perspective, making us more resilient to emotional fluctuations and helping us see beyond momentary discomfort. Imagine life as a beautiful garden, where every experience is like a unique flower. Some may be thorny, others fragrant, but each has its place in the larger design. Practicing gratitude is like tending to this garden, choosing to focus on what brings joy and beauty. By appreciating what we have and being thankful, even for challenges, we grow stronger. The Buddha taught, "Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little." This teaching reminds us that gratitude allows us to find value even in small things. By appreciating the subtle lessons and moments of joy in each day, we train ourselves to look for the positive, even in challenging situations. It's a gentle reminder that every moment, no matter how small, has value. And through this practice, we nurture resilience, visualization of inner calm, cultivating peace amidst chaos. Visualization is a powerful technique for self-control, helping us to imagine the peace we wish to feel and thereby cultivate it within. When faced with stress or anger, visualize yourself as a mountain, steady and unmoved by the winds of emotion. Picture a calm lake, reflecting the sky without disturbance. With each breath, you draw closer to that image of calm, grounding yourself in the serenity you envision. Imagine yourself in a peaceful forest, surrounded by towering trees and a gentle stream. As thoughts come and go, like leaves drifting on the water, you remain at ease, observing without interference. This visualization creates a sanctuary within, a place of refuge where you can return whenever needed. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. The Buddha said, this teaching invites us to realize that true peace is cultivated within, not from external sources. In a world often filled with distractions and turmoil, visualizing calm helps us connect to an inner source of peace that remains stable regardless of outer conditions. Practicing acceptance, embracing life as it comes. Acceptance is one of the deepest forms of self-control, allowing us to meet each experience with openness rather than resistance. When we accept what we cannot change, we conserve energy, directing it towards positive responses rather than futile struggles. Acceptance doesn't mean we must agree with everything, but rather that we choose to respond with wisdom instead of resistance. Imagine you are a river, flowing freely around obstacles rather than battling them. Rocks in your path do not stop your journey. You simply flow around them, embracing each twist and turn as part of the greater journey. Let go of what you think life should be and embrace what it is, the Buddha advised. This teaching reveals the power of embracing life as it is, instead of wasting energy, resisting, or wishing for a different reality. Acceptance grants us the freedom to move with the natural flow of life, allowing us to let go of expectations and remain open to the possibilities in each moment. Setting intentions, aligning actions with inner values. Setting clear intentions is a form of self-control that aligns our actions with our deeper values. When we establish intentions like kindness, patience, or compassion, we create a framework that guides our behavior. This becomes a compass in times of emotional turmoil, reminding us of the person we wish to be, rather than reacting in ways we might later regret. Imagine your intentions as the roots of a tree, holding you steady and grounded. No matter the storm, these roots keep you aligned with what truly matters. Setting intentions is like planting seeds that will grow into actions rooted in self-control and integrity. The Buddha taught, our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. This teaching encourages us to consciously shape our inner world, knowing that our thoughts influence our reality. By setting intentions that align with our values, we create a mental environment that supports growth, peace, and purpose, helping us to embody our highest self. Self-control is a journey of discovery, a path to inner resilience and peace. It is not about denying our feelings, but understanding and harmonizing with them, like a dance that brings balance and clarity. Each technique, whether it's the power of a pause, mindful observation, gratitude, visualization, acceptance, or intention setting, is a step towards a deeper connection with ourselves and the world around us. Remember, as the Buddha taught, you, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. This teaching encourages us to practice self-love and self-care as we cultivate self-control. In giving ourselves compassion, we are better equipped to handle life's challenges with grace. Self-control, therefore, is not a restrictive force, but a nurturing practice that allows us to grow in calmness, love, and wisdom. With each moment of self-control, we cultivate a life that is not driven by impulse, but guided by the gentle strength of inner peace. And in that strength, we find our true freedom. 7. Compassion and empathy, a journey to connect with a loving heart. What would happen if we could open our hearts to truly understand and love those around us, whether close or distant? Have we ever wondered why, amid the fast-paced, high-pressure life, we sometimes feel lonely and disconnected, even from those nearest to us? Compassion and empathy are the keys that unlock a deeper connection with others. They are not only noble virtues, but also sources of strength that help us face life's challenges, ease suffering, and bring about inner peace. Compassion and empathy are not merely expressions of kindness, but are ways to embrace others in every circumstance with an open heart. Have we ever stopped, listened, and truly felt someone's joy or pain as if it were our own? The Buddha once taught, "Treat all living beings as you would yourself." This teaching reminds us that true compassion not only soothes others, but also brings peace to ourselves. Listening from the heart, the art of presence. Compassion begins with the deep ability to listen. Sometimes, all someone needs is a person willing to sit beside them and listen without judgment or interruption. When we listen with our hearts, we send an invisible message that they are not alone. Imagine a person sharing their painful stories. By listening without interrupting or trying to fix things, we truly become a companion, a friend who does not judge. The Buddha said, "In sincere listening, we find understanding." This understanding not only soothes the other person's pain, but also makes our hearts more generous and open. It's a gift to both the listener and the one being listened to. From the process, we also find growth and fulfillment through shared stories. Unconditional love, a genuine form of love. Compassion is the act of loving without expecting anything in return. It is unconditional love, a pure and selfless form of love. When we give from the heart without calculating, that love becomes whole, healing wounds and reaching the deepest parts of the soul. Imagine you see a young child fall and cry. You instinctively rush to help, comforting the child without expecting gratitude or recognition. That is love without reason, love without conditions. The Buddha once taught, "Unconditional love is the way for the heart to be free." When we don't tie our love to expectations, our hearts become free, open, and at peace. This kind of love helps us experience joy in giving, not out of duty, but out of a genuine desire to help and share. Forgiveness, the healing power of compassion. Forgiveness is one of the highest forms of compassion. Forgiveness doesn't just release others from the weight of guilt. It also frees us from the chains of resentment. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, but letting go of anger to lighten the heart. Imagine someone who has hurt you. Instead of holding on to anger, you choose to forgive, releasing both of you from the bitterness. The Buddha said, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal to throw at someone else. you are the one who gets burned first. Forgiveness is a gift to ourselves, freeing us from the grip of negative emotions and bringing peace to our hearts. It allows us to step out from the shadow of hurt and live a fuller, more compassionate life. The willingness to help, the act of compassion. Helping others without expecting anything in return is the truest form of compassionate action. When we act from kindness, without hoping for anything in return, we form a genuine connection with others. Imagine seeing an elderly person struggling to carry a heavy load across the street. When you stop to help without expecting any recognition, you spread compassion. The Buddha said, "Those who help others will find themselves as the first to experience joy." This joy doesn't come from the one being helped, but from the warm feeling in our own hearts. This act not only brings happiness to others, but also nurtures kindness within us, making helping others a source of joy and motivation. Understanding without judgment, embracing all differences. Empathy is the ability to open our hearts and accept all differences without judgment. When we can see and accept another's pain without blaming or judging, we reach genuine empathy. Imagine a friend who has made mistakes, perhaps failing in work or making an unwise choice. Instead of judging, you simply listen and support them, letting them know that mistakes are a natural part of life. The Buddha said, "No one is perfect. We are all rough gems needing to be polished." When we understand without judgment, we are also practicing compassion toward ourselves. This allows our hearts to become more inclusive, embracing every aspect of humanity, learning to love more wholly. Compassion and empathy are not fleeting emotions, but lasting values that help us find deeper meaning in life. When we learn to listen with our hearts, love unconditionally, forgive mistakes, be willing to help, and understand without judgment, we not only bring peace to others but also open our own hearts, lightening our souls. The Buddha once taught, "Be a light unto yourself, shining warmth upon those around you." This is a reminder that when we live with compassion, we become a source of light, spreading love and warmth everywhere. And in this journey of love, we ourselves find the tranquility and everlasting happiness within our hearts. 8. Embracing change, a journey to inner growth and acceptance. Have you ever wondered what life would be like if we could embrace each change as a gift rather than a disruption? How would it feel to view change not as something to resist, but as an invitation to grow? While many of us cling to what's familiar, there's an undeniable beauty in embracing the unknown, in welcoming life's twists and turns. Embracing change is a practice that allows us to flow with life, to adapt, and to build resilience with each new transformation. What if, instead of fearing change, we could open our hearts to see it as a bridge to new opportunities? Change is not only about letting go of the past, but also about understanding that every shift brings us closer to our true potential. The Buddha once taught, "Nothing is permanent. Everything changes." This wisdom reminds us that by embracing change, we discover resilience, flexibility, and, ultimately, peace. Accepting impermanence, the foundation of resilience. At the heart of embracing change is the understanding of impermanence. When we accept that everything, our circumstances, our emotions, even the people we love, will change, we prepare ourselves for life's natural rhythms. Accepting impermanence is not about becoming indifferent. It's about cultivating inner strength. Imagine yourself as a tree standing tall in a forest. As the seasons change, the tree sheds its leaves in autumn, endures the cold in winter, and blossoms again in spring. It doesn't resist, it simply adapts, knowing that each season has its beauty and purpose. The Buddha said, "The root of suffering is attachment." When we cling too tightly to things as they are, we suffer. By learning to let go and flow with life's natural changes, we cultivate resilience, the ability to bend without breaking. This teaching encourages us to understand that suffering often arises from holding on to things that are naturally fleeting. When we release this attachment, we become more resilient, capable of facing life's ups and downs with grace, facing fear with courage, transforming the unknown into opportunity. One of the greatest barriers to embracing change is fear, the fear of losing what we know and stepping into the unknown. Yet, it is within the unknown that growth occurs. Embracing change requires courage to see uncertainty not as something to be avoided, but as a chance for transformation. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast ocean, hesitant to take the first step into the water. The waves seem powerful, the currents unpredictable, but as you take that step, you find yourself carried by the rhythm of the water, discovering new shores, new experiences. The Buddha taught, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. By grounding ourselves in the present, we shift our focus from what we might lose to what we can gain. This wisdom reminds us that the only moment we truly have is the present. By focusing on the here and now, we can let go of our fears and embrace change as it comes, seeing each moment as a gift rather than a threat. Adapting like water, the strength and flexibility. Water is one of nature's most powerful symbols of adaptability. No matter the obstacles in its path, it flows around them, finding new routes and shaping itself to its surroundings. When we learn to adapt like water, we find strength in flexibility, allowing change to guide us without resistance. Imagine a river that flows through mountains, valleys, and forests. It doesn't force its way, but finds a path, moving gracefully around rocks and branches. In life, we too can learn to move around our challenges, accepting that each twist and turn helps us become more versatile. The Buddha said, in flexibility lies true strength. Embracing change with this flexible mindset allows us to transform challenges into stepping stones. Finding peace in movement. Flexibility is not weakness. It is the strength to bend without breaking. This teaching encourages us to adopt a spirit of adaptability, viewing each challenge as a way to grow rather than a reason to stop. Finding peace in letting go, releasing the weight of expectations. Often, our struggle with change comes from holding onto expectations of people, situations, even ourselves. Letting go of these expectations doesn't mean we give up hope. It means we release the need for things to be a certain way in order to be happy. By letting go, we find peace, knowing that life doesn't have to conform to our desires. Imagine holding a handful of sand, gripping it tightly so none escapes. The tighter you hold, the more sand slips away. But if you open your hand, the sand remains, resting gently in your palm. The Buddha taught, let go of what you think life should be, and embrace what it is. Letting go is an act of trust, a belief that life has its own rhythm and beauty, even if it unfolds differently from what we imagined. This teaching reminds us that inner peace comes from releasing rigid expectations. When we accept life as it is, we open ourselves to greater joy, seeing beauty in the unexpected, growth through change, seeing every experience as a teacher. When we embrace change, we allow each experience to shape us, helping us grow into the person we're meant to become. Every change, whether welcome or challenging, has something to teach us if we're willing to learn. Viewing life this way turns every experience into a source of wisdom. Picture a garden, with flowers and plants that bloom at different times, each adding its unique color and beauty. Change is like the seasons in this garden, necessary for growth, even if it involves moments of struggle or loss. The Buddha taught, every experience, good or bad, is a priceless gift. When we accept each change as a lesson, we find value in every moment, transforming our lives into a journey of continuous discovery. This wisdom invites us to see change not as an interruption, but as part of our growth. By welcoming each experience as a teacher, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Embracing change is a journey of courage, resilience, and trust. It's about seeing life's transitions not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow, to adapt, and to discover our inner strength. Each time we let go of fear, face uncertainty, and release expectations, we come closer to our true selves, unfolding layer by layer. As the Buddha taught, be like a lotus, let the beauty of life unfold from within. This teaching is a reminder that, like the lotus rising from the mud to bloom in beauty, we too can grow and flourish through life's changes. Embracing change allows us to experience life fully, to let each moment reveal its own wisdom, and to find peace in the journey itself. In every shift, every transformation, we become more resilient, more open, and more connected to the beauty within and around us. Nine, avoiding judgment, a journey toward an open heart. How often do we look at someone and immediately form an opinion about them? Maybe it's the way they dress, how they act, or how they respond in a particular situation. These quick judgments and impressions form naturally in us as a reflex. But what if we paused and took a moment to look deeper, to go beyond the surface and see into the person's depths? Avoiding judgment isn't easy, but it opens up a new world, a world of understanding and compassion. The Buddha once taught, do not look at the faults of others. Instead, look at the journey they have traveled. This teaching invites us to seek insight instead of passing judgment, so that everyone we meet becomes a teacher, helping us to understand the true nature of human experience, letting go of the burdens of judgment, freeing the heart to be open. When we judge someone, we don't just evaluate them, we create an invisible barrier between us. Judgment is a burden, an invisible weight that causes our hearts to close, wearing down our capacity for compassion. Avoiding judgment is about letting go of this burden, allowing us to approach everything around us with an open and light heart. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack, with each judgment a stone. The more we judge, the heavier our load becomes, making each step harder. But when we stop and drop each stone one by one, we feel lighter, free to walk without strain. The Buddha said, those who do not judge are truly free. By avoiding judgment, we release unnecessary burdens, allowing our hearts to be freer and more open. This teaching reminds us that true freedom is found within. When we refrain from judgment, our minds become more at ease, lighter, and we connect more easily with those around us, seeing others as mirrors, learning from life's diversity. When we let go of judgment, we gain the opportunity to see others as mirrors reflecting different aspects of life. Every person we meet is a story, a unique journey. Often, what we see in others are parts of ourselves, things we may not have fully accepted or recognized within. Imagine each person as a small piece of a vast mosaic. Every piece has its own color and shape, but together they form a beautiful and complete picture. The Buddha said, look at each person with compassion, for we all have our own paths to walk. When we stop judging, we start seeing and learning from the different shapes and colors of others, recognizing that each person has their own value in this journey. This teaching encourages us to embrace diversity as a natural part of life. When we view everyone with compassion, we understand that each person brings valuable lessons, helping us become more complete. Understanding instead of judging, embracing the hidden struggles of others. Instead of quickly forming judgments, we can learn to understand, to recognize that everyone has their own pain and struggles that may not be visible. When we practice understanding, we not only open ourselves to others, but also feel warmth and lightness within. Imagine a rough road where each person walks, carrying the marks of time and struggle. One may walk with a limp, another may run quickly, but all share one thing. They're moving forward in their own way. The Buddha taught, treat everyone as if they are carrying an invisible burden that you cannot see. This teaching helps us realize that each person we encounter is facing their own battles, and the only way to understand them is to let go of judgment and open our hearts to compassion. This teaching encourages us to approach everyone with sensitivity and empathy. When we understand that everyone has their own hidden burdens, our hearts grow warmer, and we become more willing to open up to others. Feeling with the heart, letting the heart lead. Not prejudice. Instead of letting prejudice fill our minds, we can learn to feel others with our hearts, welcoming them without any barriers. When we let our hearts lead, we see the genuine beauty of others, something ordinary sight might miss. Imagine the heart as an open door, ready to welcome everything with gentleness and acceptance. The Buddha said, "An open heart is the door to peace." When we approach people with our hearts instead of judgment-filled minds, we not only create connection, but also experience a deep peace within. Meaning, this teaching highlights that approaching others with the heart is the way to blend harmoniously with the world. When we let our hearts lead, we feel love and peace in every moment. Avoiding judgment is not about losing our ability to think critically. It is a way of opening ourselves up to embrace life's diversity with love and understanding. When we learn to see others without judgment, we begin to experience life more fully, appreciating every encounter and every lesson that others bring. Remember that each of us carries untold stories, unshared pains, sometimes a loving look, a genuine listening ear, or simply being silent without judgment can ease the burden of another's heart. Instead of letting your mind judge, let your heart listen. This is not only a way for us to become kinder, but also a path to finding true peace and freedom within ourselves. As the Buddha taught, everyone you meet is a part of you that you have yet to discover. This wisdom reminds us that in everyone around us, we can find a piece of ourselves. When we avoid judgment, we open the path to a deeper connection with the world, finding peace not only outside but within our own souls. Imagine your mind as a garden. Each thought is a seed. Some seeds hold joy, hope, love, and happiness, while others bring anxiety, anger, and fear. If we choose to water and care for the positive seeds, our soul's garden will bloom beautifully, vibrant, and full of life. Conversely, if we allow or nurture negative thoughts, that garden will gradually wither, overrun by weeds and shadows. Positive thinking is the art of selecting and cultivating thoughts that bring life, helping us grow stronger with each challenge life presents. Positive thinking is not about ignoring difficulties, but about learning to view them from a new angle, transforming them into opportunities for growth and wisdom. Watering seeds of optimism, starting with the small things. Positive thinking begins by noticing and appreciating the small things around us. The morning sunlight, a smile, or a cool breeze on a hot day. These simple moments are sources of energy that nourish our souls. Seeds of optimism that allow us to find joy in each passing moment. Imagine each positive thought as a refreshing drop of water in your mental garden. Every day, take a few minutes to think about something you're grateful for. These small drops, though seemingly insignificant, gradually create a flourishing garden, enabling you to stand strong through life's storms. Dissolving difficulties like sunlight melts away fog. Life sometimes brings hardships that feel impossible to overcome, shadows that darken our minds and weigh on our hearts. But remember, darkness fades when the light of hope and positive thinking shines upon it. Consider challenges like a thick fog at dawn that melts away as the sun rises. Rather than letting difficulties dominate your mind, learn to see them from a positive angle, reminding yourself that each hardship is a valuable lesson. Positive thinking doesn't deny what is happening. It is a way of finding light, hope, and strength to face it. Choosing the beautiful flowers in the garden of thoughts. Our minds are always filled with thoughts, some uplifting, some weighing us down. To cultivate positive thinking, imagine you are strolling through your garden of thoughts, selecting the most beautiful flowers to admire and appreciate. Focus on what is good, on things that have meaning for you, just as focusing on a vibrant flower brings calm and peace. Centering on positive thoughts not only brings joy, but also builds inner strength to face any adversity. Removing negative weeds, clearing the mind's garden. In every garden, there are not only flowers but also weeds. Negative thoughts like anger, jealousy, or anxiety are the weeds in our minds. To achieve peace and clarity, we must learn to identify and remove these thoughts. Imagine yourself pulling out each weed from your mind's garden, one by one. This act of letting go may be challenging, but it helps you feel lighter and freer. Don't allow negative thoughts to overshadow the beauty of positive blooms. Be patient and trust in the power of gradual change. Becoming a patient gardener, nurturing the soul moment by moment. To sustain positive thinking, we must become patient gardeners, constantly tending to and nurturing our inner garden. Each day, take time to water, remove weeds, and find joy in small things. Be patient in nurturing each seed of hope, each drop of faith, and each branch of peace. Positive thinking is not a destination, but a journey. Learn to cherish each moment, to nurture your garden with patience and love. By doing so, you'll find yourself filled with energy, ready to face any challenges life brings. Positive thinking is not about constantly seeking happiness, but about choosing to cultivate thoughts that bring light, keeping the soul radiant and peaceful. When you tend to your garden with love, it will bloom and bring you joy and strength to overcome all challenges. Life is a vast garden, where each of us is the gardener of our own soul. Nurture the seeds of positivity. Water them with patience and faith. In this way, you'll see life blossom with flowers of hope, joy, and peace, giving you strength and resilience on your journey of self-discovery. In the end, this journey is a return home to ourselves. With each step, we shed a layer of anxiety, a burden of judgment, a fear of change, until what remains is pure and unshakable. By embracing these timeless teachings, we uncover an enduring calm and compassion that carries us through life's twists and turns. This is not simply peace as an ideal. It is peace as a way of being, a state of openness and resilience that touches everything we do and everyone we meet.